Today we will be discussing the gay rights movement. The gay rights movement in the United States truly began in the early 1970s. In 1970, two male students in Minnesota applied to obtain a marriage certificate, and they were denied. The men sued, and the case of Baker versus Nelson was brought to the Minnesota Supreme Court and ruled that denying marriage license to same-sex couples did not violate the United States Constitution. The U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear the case, and this was set as precedent. Maryland was the first state to outright ban same-sex marriages in 1973. In 1983, the issue of hospitalization rights for same-sex couples was brought to light. Karen and Sharon were a married lesbian couple for 4 years, which they kept secret from Sharon's parents. Sharon suffered severe brain injuries from a car accident, making her
paraplegic
and severely mentally disabled. Sharon's parents, and not Karen, were given the guardianship over Sharon. The parents did not allow Karen to visit Sharon and moved her away. The parents denied that their daughter was a lesbian and claimed that Karen was sexually harassing her. After many trials, Karen regained guardianship of Sharon, a big first win for the gay rights movement. 8 years later! In 1995, Utah governor passes State Defense of Act marriage, which makes it legal for states to not accept gay marriages from other states. In 1996, Bill Clinton signs the bill and defines a spouse of someone as the opposite sex. In December of 1996, a Hawaii judge upholds the right for same-sex couples to marry, but a year later, Hawaii voters approve an amendment to ban same-sex marriage. In 1999, California becomes the first state to pass a domestic partnership statute, and in 2000, civil unions become legal in Vermont. Civil union is a legal relationship between two people that provides legal protection to the couple only at the state level, and civil unions may not be recognized by all states. In 2001, Netherlands become the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage with complete marriage benefits and the ability to adopt children, and Belgium becomes the second 2 years later. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. In 2003, Massachusetts becomes the first state to legalize same-sex marriage in Goldberg versus Department of Public Health, and from their lovely former president, George W. Bush.
Wrong paper.
Activist judges have begun redefining marriage by court order without regard for the will of the people and their elected representatives. On an issue of such great consequence, the people's voice must be heard. If judges insist on forcing their
arbitrary
will upon the people, the only alternative left to the people would be the constitutional process. Our nation must defend the sanctity of marriage. Bye. Wrong. In 2004, Benton County, Oregon bans all marriages in protest of discrimination. An official quote for them: "To maintain consistency with our oath to uphold Oregon's Constitution's anti-discrimination provisions, we must temporarily cease issuing marriage license to any couple. It is in everyone's best interest to stand up and recognize that all citizens receive equal treatment from their government." A big part of the same-sex battle happened in California. In 2004, San Francisco marries same-sex couples in protest against constitutional amendments denying same-sex marriages that are being passed in other states. In 2005, legislators passed a same-sex marriage bill, and is vetoed by Schwarzenegger. And he vetoes it again in 2007. In 2008, Prop 8 is approved, which bans same-sex marriages. Prop 8 is declared unconstitutional in 2010. U.S. versus Windsor rules that the Defense of Marriage Act interpreting marriage to apply only to heterosexual couples is unconstitutional through the Fifth Amendment. 2015, the Supreme Court agrees to hear
Obergefell v. Hodges,
which is a group of 6 cases put into one big case, which is challenging same-sex marriage bans in Ohio, Michigan, Tennessee, and Connecticut. But in June 26, 2015, the Supreme Court legalizes same-sex marriages across the United States of America.